All right, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us on the KGNS Digital News Desk. It is a little bit after 10 o'clock in the morning on this third day of the month, 3rd of April, and we are live to the KGNS website, live to the app, and live to our KGNS YouTube channel. Joining us this morning, as always, is Yolanda Villarreal. Hi, Yolanda. How are you?
Good morning once again, Ruben, and good morning to everybody who's watching. And you know what, Ruben, this morning was different. You woke up to cool temperatures and not like yesterday where we were in the 60s and some spots in the 70s. You do feel that change in those temperatures. For today, enjoy as well because our temperatures are expected to warm up by tomorrow. It will be the beginning of a warming trend. But for today, those sunny skies will be warming up our temperatures, some getting into the 80s while others in the 70s. Right now we do see current temperatures across Texas, some in the 50s like Amarillo, and then we do see El Paso as well, Presidio, Del Rio already in the mid 60s. Then as we head into San Antonio in the low 60s all the way into Austin in the upper 50s for Dallas, 65 for Houston, then from Corpus Christi all the way down into McAllen, Brownsville, and for us here in Laredo in the upper 60s. The good thing is that it's not going to be a windy day. If you're going to be outdoors, you're going to enjoy those temperatures because also our winds are coming from the north and it's not windy. And this is a closer look at our viewing area. We do see those temperatures ranging in the low 60s into the upper 60s as well for Zapata, 64 for Freer, Falcon Lake 63, 66 for Cotula, and 64 for Carrizo Spring. But by tomorrow, we're still going to be waking up in the morning in the upper 50s. Then those temperatures are slowly going to warm up in the afternoon hours. So our dew points as well, they're in the 30s, which is good, dry conditions for us. And this is due to a high pressure system that is located in the west, and it should be moving towards Texas. Then as we head towards the end of the week, that high pressure would be moving to the Gulf waters, and it's going to be increasing our dew points over the weekend. That's when it's going to start to feel warm and muggy with those highs ranging in the 90s. But we do see our winds right now are coming from the north about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It's not going to be a windy day, so it's going to be nice to be outside. Then we do see those areas in the southeast like Florida all the way into the Carolinas, also the Virginias, Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire. They're the ones that are getting those showers and thunderstorms. Also that winter weather in Michigan, parts of Chicago all the way into Wisconsin, they're getting that winter weather. Even parts of Tennessee and Kentucky are getting some of those showers and thunderstorms. For us here in Texas, that high pressure is going to keep us warm and dry with lots of sunshine. It's going to be towards the weekend when we're going to see the return of those rain chances because that high pressure would be moving into the Gulf waters, and that would be shifting our winds to the southeast, increasing our dew points and making it possible for those rain chances. So that's where that severe weather is expected throughout the day, from the Florida Panhandle all the way into parts of Atlanta, the Carolinas, and also into the Virginias. Those that are highlighted in the light green, that is a very low risk of severe thunderstorms, which we do see it's Tennessee, Kentucky, all the way into the northeast. Throughout the day, our temperatures will be in the 70s and also in the 80s. Lots of sunshine, our winds blowing from the north. Then for tonight, those clear skies will allow for the heat of the day to escape into space, meaning that we're going to be dropping once again into the 50s, which is going to be very pleasant. Tomorrow, Thursday, waking up in the upper 50s. Then lots of sunshine. It's not expected to be breezy for us for tomorrow. Those temperatures warming up into the upper 80s. Then once again, one more night dropping into the upper 50s and waking up Friday in the upper 50s as well. But then look, by Friday we do see that there's that red blinking light, meaning that for that day, dry conditions and also gusts up to 37 miles per hour will be possible that day. So elevated fire weather conditions are going to be possible. And we do see those temperatures ranging in the 90s, and also notice that our lows will be increasing into the 60s. Saturday and Sunday, temperatures ranging in the 90s and also into the 80s. By Sunday, it's when we do see the return of those rain chances being at a 20%, and then those rain chances will continue by Monday and Tuesday. Monday, it's the day where the total solar eclipse will be passing across parts of Mexico, the United States, and also in Canada. But It's expected to be cloudy for us that day, and also isolated showers and thunderstorms could be possible across Texas. And I know many people are asking, hey, are we going to be able to see the total solar eclipse? It also depends on the cloud coverage, what type of cloud, but I won't talk about that much, but that's what we could expect for that day.
All right, Ilana, looks like a bunch of back and forth, these 80s and now back to the 90s. And
I know. And for Monday, people want to enjoy the total solar eclipse. Some want to view it and some don't, but I know the weather's not looking good.
All right, we'll see what happens. Thank you, Yolanda,
Thank
for your
you.
time as always. And you can catch Yolanda Villarreal at 11 o'clock on Telemundo en tu Casa, and then you will see her with me on KGNS News at noon.
The Villarreal Show.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks, Yolanda.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Let's see. Hello? Hello? Oh, there we go. I was on mute. Okay. Thanks, Yolanda. So this is traffic, Loop 20 eastbound at McPherson. I had my mic on mute. I'm going to take a quick break, and we will be back with more here on the Digital News Desk. A couple of reports coming in from the Laredo Police Department. We'll go over those when we come back. Stay with us. Okay, welcome back to the KGNS Digital News Desk. Thanks for watching on the website, on the app. We're also live to our YouTube channel on this Wednesday morning. And I'm going to share my screen here. And let me get rid of this real quick. All right, so this comes to us from the Laredo Police Department. This is from an incident that happened on March 26th. Officers responded to a burglary of a building. This was at the 1100 block of Fenwick Drive. That's Las Barricas Grill. Now, officers met with the victim, who reported that the door to the business had been shattered. The victim further stated that 6 bottles of wine, each worth approximately $26, were taken from the business. The Laredo Police Department is seeking the community's assistance in identifying the suspect in this case. The suspect is seen wearing a white Champion hoodie, shorts, and black and white shoes. If anybody has information regarding this case, you can call Crime Stoppers at 727-TIPS. So there's the suspect that they're attempting to identify. Also, a report coming in this morning from the Laredo Police Department about a fight that happened. This was over at Ojos Locos Bar, which is in the mall. When they arrived, officers encountered male subjects showing signs of assault. However, the individuals involved did not want to file a report and declined treatment by EMS shortly after everyone else was dispersed. So those are a couple of new things that we have for you this morning. And now we're going to shift gears back to the eclipse. We're less than a week away from the Great American Solar Eclipse, and people across the country are gearing up for this celestial event. While some people are excited to watch, others are preparing for it in their own way. Our Liseli Garza looked into solar eclipse myths and misconceptions that many people believe in. Liseli?
Between the good and the bad, darkness and light, the good and the evil, many have drawn their own conclusions for decades about what a total solar eclipse brings to humankind. Jose Salazar calls himself an astrologist. An astrologist believes that the positioning of the stars and planets affect the way events occur on Earth. Salazar says in the Mexican culture, many believe they need to take precaution during the solar eclipse.
Mira, una de las creencias que hay es, por ejemplo, las mujeres embarazadas dicen que
Salazar says many believe pregnant women need to protect themselves with a piece of metal, like a safety pin. If not, the baby can have cleft lip or a birth defect.
plantas que van a dar fruto, ponerles un listón rojo.
He adds if people grow fruits or vegetables, they should place a red ribbon to make sure their plants or trees have good harvest.
Mira, cuando estamos cocinando, la energía del sol y la luna es tan fuerte.
Salazar says another belief is that because the sun and moon energy is so potent during this time, it can poison the food that is being made during the eclipse. People like Salazar believe there will be a change in energy during the total solar eclipse, during the path of totality, like an eagle pass.
Que va a haber un cambio total.
He says particularly in government, education, business, family, humankind, days and months after the eclipse. This could possibly mean a negative time period. Many people in our community believe these old wives' tales, but science says otherwise. NASA has come up with a list of myths and misunderstandings people have relating to the solar eclipse. One of those myths is pregnant women protecting themselves. They assure this is a false idea, that the radiation is harmful, that can affect the woman or the baby. NASA also debunking a meal being prepared during the eclipse being poisoned because of radiation. They say this is false. And another one of the most common beliefs is the prediction of changes in events in humankind. NASA says eclipses are not historically recorded, but they tend to be recorded when they coincide with historical events. But for many people like Salazar, they say they much rather be safe than sorry. For KGNS News, I'm Liseli Garza.
Thanks, Liseli. For a full list of misconceptions debunked by NASA, you can go to our website. And if you're looking for a safe and kid-friendly place to experience the Great American Eclipse, you're in luck. The Laredo Libraries may be just the kind of place you're looking for. The City of Laredo Libraries will be hosting some events in preparation for the eclipse. The first event takes place tomorrow at the Joe A. Guerra Public Library. This event is for teens in grades 5th through 12th, in which they'll provide education on the eclipse through arts and crafts.
We're going to have different activities for them to do, and it's going to be a learning experience for all of us. And again, we will have some glasses available for the participants. It's a limited amount that we have available. They just show up that day to one of our locations and are here for our watch parties.
Well, on the day of the actual eclipse, both the McKendrick Ochoa Library and the Joe A. Guerra Library will be hosting an eclipse watch party, but staff does encourage you to call ahead as the space is limited. In other news, the family of a victim shot in the head last week are thanking the community for their continued support. The family of Maria Roberta Ramirez tells us they're praying for a miracle. She's in a San Antonio hospital in critical but stable condition. She was shot last Tuesday night at the 3100 block of Saltillo. This is in South Laredo. In connection with the shooting, Laredo police arrested 36-year-old Gloria Camacho Villanueva. To help the victim's family with medical bills and costs, a GoFundMe account has been created. Information on the account can be found on our website at kgns.tv. And a man is facing multiple charges for allegedly kidnapping a woman at gunpoint. The incident happened at around 3 o'clock Saturday morning. According to police, 24-year-old Joseph Chris Reyes allegedly assaulted a woman near the 5300 block of San Bernardo Avenue, forced her to get into a vehicle, and reportedly fired a handgun.
She was able to successfully get away from him and then separate herself, and then he left the scene before officers arrived. They put a citywide search for the individual, and then it was then that he was eventually located somewhere near North Laredo. There, once he was detained and charged for the attempted kidnapping, the aggravated assault, and also for the discharge of a firearm that was committed during this particular call.
Once again, as you heard by SSA, Reyes was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, making a terroristic threat, and evading arrest. In other news, it's been a topic of discussion over the last 6 years, but nothing has come about when it comes to building a convention center. Last night, the topic was brought up once again at City Council. This time, they gave the Convention and Visitors Bureau a month to find a potential location and look into where money can come from to build a center here in Laredo. Our Christian Del Rio tells us why this discussion differed from those in the past. Christian?
Back in 2017, the Laredo City Council at the time was interested in building a convention center next to La Posada Hotel in downtown Laredo. But in order to build this type of facility, the city had to raise its hotel, motel, and car rental taxes. That idea was quickly scrapped by voters in the 2018 special election. The topic had a resurgence in 2021, brought forward by former Laredo Mayor Pete Saenz to evaluate the proposal. And since then, the center has not been discussed until Tuesday night.
Something that's necessary. The city has to borrow venues on a monthly basis pretty much to have anything to do with the city event. So we've had to borrow venues from TAMIU, from LC, from UISD, LISD. It's just a continuous thing, and it's something the city needs to invest in.
District 5 Council member Ruben Gutierrez Jr. says having a convention center will boost the city's tourism and economic growth. But where is the right spot for this proposal? Gutierrez says it could be anywhere, so long as it's in city limits.
For District 5 is entertainment. That's what we have there in the Jackman area, Jackman and Loop 20. With the expansion of Loop 20, we already have the infrastructure there. We have the restaurants there. We have the hotels there. We have the bars there. So it's entertaining. Not to mention Unitrade Stadium, Sames Auto Arena. So to have a convention center there in that vicinity next to the airport is something that makes sense to me.
A study done by the city and private sector in 2021 determined that the ideal location for a convention center would be in downtown Laredo.
Thanks, Christian. Well, the former Laredo Civic Center was located in central Laredo, which was next to Martin High School. That property is now owned by the Laredo Independent School District, creating a committee made up of community members to help develop the idea of building a convention center was also discussed. Another item up for discussion last night was the idea of developing a new approach to combating the use of illegal drugs. The idea is set to target areas that report high levels of drugs in their water supply. Our Salma Lozano has more on this issue.
In the past months, the city of Laredo has implemented a series of harm reduction strategies to combat the use of illicit drugs. This March, Laredo saw double the number of overdose deaths compared to March of 2023. The city has been in partnership with BioBot, a company contracted to survey a wastewater supply for infectious diseases. Now, the city is aiming to add a second layer of screening. According to Dr. Richard A. Chamberlain, the added level of screening would test wastewater for the use of high-risk drugs such as fentanyl.
We're able to identify the different areas of the city where public health interventions can be initiated to reduce the level of persons that are suffering or using substances in our community.
Chamberlain specifies that areas with higher levels of illicit drugs in their wastewater supply could then receive higher amounts of outreach. Laredo Police Chief Miguel Rodriguez explains that for the police department, a targeted approach will help them better protect the community from having access to these substances.
The problem is, and anytime you look at a heat map and you see several overdoses in that area, there's got to be a dealer that's in that area that is selling the drug with fentanyl. So that's where the police department focuses a lot in those heat maps, because it'll tell us exactly where we need to focus on.
The chief of police states current areas of concern are West Laredo, including the downtown area and parts of central Laredo. For KGNS News, Salma Lozano.
All right, thank you very much, Salma. A Laredo student is one of the over 12,000 applicants to get accepted to the United States Military Academy at West Point. Aron Fuentes, a senior from the Hector J. Garcia Early College, was accepted to the prestigious school on a full-ride scholarship from the federal government, valued at over $225,000. Fuentes is a member of the National Honor Society and a honor roll student and has a black belt in karate.
Say focus a lot on your leadership and your academics. A part that really helped me with my application, I feel like was the leadership part of it. I had good leadership opportunities thanks to Bears Karate, and I think that really helped me with my application.
Fuentes underwent medical and fitness exams. He also had to write an essay and submit a letter of recommendation through Congressman Henry Cuellar. Fuentes will begin his journey at West Point this summer. Congratulations to him and good luck. World Autism Awareness Day was recognized Tuesday, and for one school campus, the day has extra meaning. Sanchez Ochoa Elementary is home to the first autistic unit at Laredo ISD. Special education teacher Brenda Garcia began the unit 30 years ago and says working with children under the autism spectrum disorder has been very rewarding and fulfilling. Her goal is to make sure the kids can become independent and fend for themselves in the real world.
Like I tell the parents, when you have an autistic child, don't give any special person, treat them the same as your other children, because they have to adapt to the world, and the world is not going to adapt to them.
If you see a child in the community, don't judge them, because we don't know. We don't know if he has autism or not. So that's why that is the reason in April we invite people from the community so that we can educate them.
And last night, Laredo ISD, in partnership with Families for Autism Support and Awareness, hosted the Lighted Up Blue ceremony at the LISD Performing Arts Complex on San Bernardo. Okie dokie, that's going to do it for now here on the Digital News Desk. We'll see you on KGNS News at noon, and then again tomorrow at 6 a.m. for KGNS News Today, and I will see you here one more time tomorrow, God willing, at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you so much for following along on the website, on the app, and on our YouTube channel, and have a blessed rest of your Wednesday.